you spoke, that one I think can be arranged, isn't it? Anyone. Actually, that can be kept here. It has a stand.
Yeah.
If you can arrange the same one here, I don't need these things. That would be very nice. Oh, this would be excellent. Wireless?
Is it on?
Is wireless? Okay.
Is it on?
Is it on?
Is it on?
Yes.
Hello? Are you able to hear me behind at the end? Yes. Otherwise, just nod your heads. That will be enough. Okay. Om Janamim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagatkuram Padapadme Tayo Sattva Pranamami Muhurmuhu. Sometimes we are made to wonder what life is meant for. Invariably, the answer given is to know who we are. This is the only purpose. And our journey, life is a journey. Ultimately, when we have the knowledge, when we know who we are, our journey comes to an end. Curiously, there was this incident. Sri Ramakrishna had predicted that when Swami Vivekananda comes to know who he is, he would give up. Even our case also say, when we know who we are, we would refuse to be in this soiled body, limited body and mind. This is the truth. In fact, anyone who realizes God, who knows that He is the Divine, he might appear to be in the body. He might appear to be operating from within the body to others who are ignorant. But that soul, that bird had flown away long before. Where does it go? Where does that soul? It doesn't go anywhere. The soul doesn't know here and there and now and then. It's always there. But from our dualistic point of view, we say, so previously it was here, now it has gone somewhere else. Ramana Maharshi was about to, his body was about to go away. The devotees felt sad. Asked Bhagavan, so you are leaving us. He smiled sweetly and said, how can I leave you? How can I go anywhere? I am already here. I will ever be here. Only you think that I have gone somewhere. When Holy Mother was very sad after Sri Ramakrishna's passing away, do you recollect? Sharada Devi was thinking of even committing suicide, not suicide, but giving up the body. Then Sri Ramakrishna appeared and said, where did I go? From this room to the other room. But even this room and the other room, these are also from our weak, ignorant point of view. So the whole Dakshinamurty Stotra is meant to awaken us to the fact that we are not what we think we are. When we look at this world, it appears to be a vast, confusing world. But if we analyze ourselves, we find two things. There are only two things in this world. The whole universe can be divided into two, I and thou or you or whatever. The experiencer and the experienced, the knower and the known, the seer and the seen, drik, drishya, gnata. There is nothing else. And why our problem? Problem is because I think I am myself and I think you are yourself. We are two separate realities. We divide reality into two, I and you. That is ignorance. What is knowledge? To think, to know that I and you are exactly the same. Thou art that. I am you. There is no such difference. When I am you, would I go on saying that I am you? When there is only one, is there any need or is there any way to say that I am something else? There would be no need. All these are from a dualistic point of view. This Stotram is meant to highlight these particular facts. Dakshinamurty, as I mentioned, is not well known. There are no specific temples worshipping Dakshinamurty, but the story goes probably in either Skanda Purana or Shiva Purana, I am not too sure, that Brahma had created 4 mental sons, Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanandana, Sanat Kumar. And being the firstborn children, they were very wise, intelligent. They said, none of this samsara. His father wanted to make this duality more, but being very intelligent, they were spiritual, and they wanted to get true knowledge. But of course, their father wouldn't teach because the whole purpose would be defeated. So they were searching, and then they found that Paramashiva manifested himself in the form of Dakshinamurti and gave his teaching. For the followers of knowledge, Dakshinamurti and the stotra which goes in his name is extremely valued as most sacred. So Dakshinamurti means another form of Shiva. And as you know, Shiva is a symbolism for knowledge. Vishnu is a symbolic of bhakti, devotion. The word Dakshina means samartha, very skillful. What is his skill? He is skillful in creating this universe, spinning and making the impossible, seemingly impossible, possible, making the infinite finite, making the impersonal personal, in other words, creating this universe, maintaining it and destroying it. This is one meaning. Another meaning given is, Dakshina means very skillful. He is skillful in destroying the ignorance. He would always give knowledge. The word Dakshina is very, very dear to all the devotees of Sri Ramakrishna. Because the Kali, she is called Dakshina Kali, Vama Kali, Dakshina Kali. All forms of Kali are dear to devotees, but Dakshina Kali means she is a very auspicious form, not ferocious form. Another significance of Dakshina is very interesting. In South India, there are 2 Rajas, we call it, little bit humorously, gods. One is Ranga Raja, another is Nata Raja. Rangaraja is Ranganatha temple. Nataraja is Shiva's form. The speciality of these two, both of them face the south. Now, according to Hindus, south, Dakshina, south is a very inauspicious, direction. South. So if you put your head towards the south and sleep, because Yamadharmaraja, the Lord of Death, rules the south. So these two Rajas, Nataraja and Rangaraja, both are experts. He says, why do you fear? We are here, they are facing the south. If you are facing them from the south, you are facing towards the north. That means they are showing you a hand of fearlessness and say, do not fear. We are looking after you. What can be? You see, there is 24 by 7 security companies operating there, looking after you. No Yamadharmaraja, no death can ever come and attack you, because I am looking at the south. If this Yamadharmaraja shows up from anywhere, and we are there to protect you. That is the idea, Yamadharmaraja. So, this Dakshina is very, very important in that sense. Dakshinamurty is one who saves us from the fear of death. How does he save us? Morning, one of the important points we discussed was birth and death are both really, they are only changes, part of the changes. There is nothing to worry. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuho. Those who are born, whether we want it or not, they have to die. But we do not emphasize, unfortunately, we forget. Our shloka is only half shloka. Dhruvo janma mritasya cha. Those who die, they will be reborn again. India, Hindus believe this idea of rebirth. There are several reasons for that. One reason is, there the court cases may take centuries. So if you want to get justice, there is no choice for you but to be reborn again. So Dakshinamurty saves us from the fact of death. Means there is really no death. It is only ignorance to think that there is birth and death. That knowledge which tells us that you have no birth and death, and that is called Jnana. And Dakshinamurty is skillful in granting us that knowledge. Nobody can give us knowledge. There is an important misunderstanding here, that people can give us information. Scriptures can give us information. Knowledge has to come, understanding has to come from within ourselves. And once God is pleased, then He will give us this knowledge, understanding. Dadami buddhi yogam tam ena mam upayanti te. Bhagavad Gita says, if I am pleased with someone, then I grant them that understanding. Gayatri mantra, we pray, O Mother, give me a right understanding. The whole Gita. Who drove the chariot of Arjuna? Krishna. Here it is symbolic. Chariot means body. Idam shariram kaunteya kshetram iti avidhiyate etadyo vetitam kshetragna iti. This body is a chariot. In Kathopanishad you get Atmanam Radhinam Vidhi Shariram Radhamevatu. This is a chariot, BMW car, Cadillac car. There is nothing to do with soul. But who is driving the car? Buddhi. But who is the rider? The rider is the Divine Lord. Who is the Jivatma? Who is the individual soul? That is the reflection of the divine only. But due to ignorance we think we are different, and that is where Dakshinamurty comes and says, what does he say? Thou art that reality. You are thinking you are the body or mind or even individual soul. But no, you are that divine light. The first three verses of this particular Stotram indicate. The first verse explains what is the nature of Tvam Padartha. Who are you? The second verse explains us the nature of Tat, divinity, God. And the third verse is Tat Padartha. The third verse tells us Asi Padartha. That is the identity between Tat and Tvam. In India, matchmakers are there. Matchmakers. What do? They examine the chart of the bridegroom, chart of the bride, bring them together and says, now previously you were suffering separately.
Why are they laughing, Maharaj?
Because they understand my words very, very correctly.
Because of experience.
Let me tell you a joke. One devotee went to a Swami like Swami Dayatmananda, went and asked and said, Swami, I married and suffering so much. Is there any way to escape this suffering? Said, stupid fellow, if I had known. Why would I have become a monk? All right. So, the beautiful verses, what they say, the Dakshinamurty, he tells us the nature of who we are. He tells us the nature of who the Paramatma is. And he brings and tells, both of you are exactly one and the same. Thou art that. First verse, who art thou? Second verse, who is that? And third verse says, thou art that. We will come back to that. So this Dakshinamurti is Shiva only in the form of, and he always has Chin Mudra. And there are certain mudras. You know what is mudra? Certain types of hand gestures. Bharatanatyam is full of those mudras. It is important for us. In Dakshinamurti, there are some images are there. Always you will see this is the Chin Mudra. In this verse also it will come. You just notice 5 fingers. These two come together. These 3 are separate. I am separate from Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, Sthula Sharira, gross body, Sukshma Sharira, subtle body, and Karana Sharira, causal body. Then who are you? Previously I was thinking I was one of them. We move as we discussed from time to time, from the gross, from the waking to the subtle to the causal, again move back, go on moving. Waker, dreamer and sleeper. When knowledge comes, we know this index finger, always a finger which is me, you, go on saying me, isn't it? But now it doesn't say anything. This represents the supreme reality. The union of the individual soul with the supreme soul, separating itself from the body and mind and all its allied experiences, That is the symbolism of this Chin Mudra. The very word Chit means knowledge, reality. Mudra means expression. So, this Dakshinamurti is always like that. As I mentioned, devotees would not meditate on Dakshinamurti, the followers of devotion, but it is only the people who follow Advaita Vedanta, Shankarites, is always the Chinmudra is there. So there is also, before anyone tries to understand this Dakshinamurti Stotra, first they meditate upon Dakshinamurti. There are 4 or 5, sometimes 6 verses indicating the meditational verses. We will not go accepting 1 or 2, just to give the beautiful significance of that. There are 10 verses in this Dakshinamurti hymn. It's supposed to have been written by the Shankaracharya himself. How do we know? Because one of his chief disciples, Sureshwara, he was called Vartikakara, he himself had written a profound commentary on it called Manasollasa. I think the book is available in our bookstore. There are also other commentaries are there, but this is the most important commentary. And since Shankaracharya's disciple himself has written the commentary, more or less we are certain that it has been written by the great Shankara himself. It doesn't really matter who wrote for us. What it really gives us, that is more than sufficient for us. So as I mentioned, before we go into this, many people, they meditate upon Dakshinamurti by certain slokas. Another meaning of this Dakshinamurti, I forgot to tell you, is Dakshinaha Amurta. He is also both skillful and formless. Dakshina, if you separate the samasa, Dakshina Amurta. Murti means a form. Amurti means no form. So he is also formless, he is also skillful, indicating only when we have the knowledge of the impersonal is really our knowledge will become complete. Because any knowledge of any particular form is a limitation in itself, including the highest image. What is the highest image that we can think of? Personal God. For example, Sri Ramakrishna had a vision of the Divine Mother, Mother Kali, doesn't matter, Christ, Buddha, anybody. He doesn't know anything excepting the Divine Mother. But when Dayatmananda came and asked him, you have to remove this form, because this form also is none other than your own thought. It is called vritti, mental modification. You go on thinking of God, a time will come when your mind will be filled with one thought. That thought is the thought of God. And that is also none other than your own thought. And that thought also would produce division. I am the meditator, this is the meditated. I am the devotee, this is the deity. And according to Vedanta, one should get rid of these dualities, divisions, become individual. Incidentally, Swami Vivekananda used to make fun of us. When we are asked to get rid of our limitations, no, I am an individual. Have you ever thought what is the meaning of individual? Have you become individual or have you become dividual? Are you indivisible or are you divisible? Indivisible means undividable. Have you become undividable? We have all become centipedes. You know that? An old man used to come and say, Swami, I have become a centipede. How come? He said, when I was not married, I had only 2 legs. After marriage, there were 4 legs. And with the birth of each children, a pair of legs went up. Now there is 4 generations of children. I don't know which leg is moving where. I have become a centipede. We are all what is called limited beings. That is our problem. Become individual. And this Dakshinamurty Stotram will tell us how to do it. Now, there is one shloka or verse for meditation on the Dakshinamurti. Chitram vatataror mole vrithaha sishyaha gurur yuva gurustu maunam vyakhyanam sishyastu chinna samshayaha. Amazing. Under the banyan tree, aged disciples sat around a youthful guru. He taught them in silence, and their doubts were dispelled. This is a meditational shloka verse. Now you see, who are these old people? Now, Brahma's spiritual sons, they searched for a long time for their guru. By the time they found, they were very old. Old means they were ready to receive what the guru is about to give them. Now just imagine, just by age, a graying hair doesn't show major wisdom. Wisdom tooth we may have, but wisdom we may not have. And that wisdom tooth causes so much pain. You have to pay money. You understand that wisdom tooth, in old age it can come. It's very painful. And the only way we can become wise is to go to a dentist, get rid of that tooth, become Vedanti, and then you will become wise. Vedanta means no teeth. Vedanti means teethless, toothless. Just imagine, age doesn't make us true recipients of spirituality. It is the wisdom that grows. So many old people, millions, billions, billions. But wisdom is nobody's property. A young person may have complete wisdom. What is the example? The moment I read this, there flashed the picture of young Vivekananda addressed 4,000. How many younger people were there than Swami Vivekananda at the Parliament of Religions? Can you calculate how many were there? There might have been a few, but most of them were very learned and very wise, worldly wise, and they were like frogs in the well and thinking that we are very wise people, we know everything. But there comes this. What does he say? He says, sisters and brothers of America, a whole hall, they had no option but to cheer him. Do you know why? Do you know why? Because Swami Vivekananda had never thought himself, I am a body, I am a mind. There was a wonderful incident. He was staying with a lady, and that lady used to host celebrities, great people. And she had a peculiar theory that every great man must have some weakness. So Swami Vivekananda was a very great celebrity. He was a great man, so he must be having a weakness. And one day Swami Vivekananda was moving in a hall like a restless lion. There was a big mirror in the hall, and she was observing and thinking that he doesn't know what she was doing. He knows everything. So he was moving restlessly. When he used to come in front of the mirror, He used to stand and looking at his reflection smile. She said, yes, now I know what is his feeling. He thinks he is very handsome. But he could read people's minds. So he turned to her and said, Ellen, do you know what a marvelous thing, amazing. When I move away from the mirror, I forget I have a body. But when I come to the mirror, I see the reflection and I am reminded that there is a body here. Every time, you know how much time does it take for him to go to the other corner and come into the mirror? The moment he turned away from the mirror, he forgot that there was a body. What was he thinking? What was she thinking? Just imagine that this Vivekananda constantly, what would be his spurana? We call it, throbbing, spontaneous throbbing. What is that throbbing? I am soham, soham, soham. This is the only throbbing. That was his natural state. How natural? Try to think that you are not the body, it is impossible. Let him try to think he is the body, as impossible. So, that was his state. And when he addressed this parliament, you are my sisters and brothers, Amrutasya putraha, children of immortal bliss. They felt in their heart of hearts that we, for a moment, yes, we are also divinities on earth. That's why he said, I didn't lecture, I gave them something solid. So he was young, and there were so many old people there. But he gave them the highest wisdom. Amazing. Under the banyan tree, aged disciples sat around a youthful guru. He taught them in silence. How did he teach them? Not through words, through silence. And all their doubts were dispelled. Sri Ramakrishna under the banyan tree, Panchavati, how many Paramahamsas came and got enlightened and went away? Do you think he was only talking day and night? So many people, just one gaze, one thought from him, Gnananjana Vimala Nayana Vikshane, one glance from him, and will be anyone upon whom his grace descends, he will be enlightened. This wonderful thing, Mauna Vyakhya Prakatita Parabrahma Tattvam Yuvanam Varshistante Vasad Rishiganai Avrutam Brahmanishtai, a young guru imparting knowledge of Brahman through silence, surrounded by rishis who are firmly established in wisdom. This is the picture of Dakshinamurty. Any true guru, he cannot teach us. What he teaches us is only external shell, but what he really gives us, that is the inner essence. And that why it is said, Vedanta cannot be taught. Vedanta can only be caught. Not taught, but caught. That depends how much we can catch. With this introduction, let us actually enter into this. I have not even entered. Already two-thirds of the time is over. Swami is thinking, is it going to, this long night is it going to end?
This time you said you will finish early.
Yeah. No, that's why he's a great Swami. He has high hopes in our last not yet. If you have the text, let us chant Vishvam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyam Nijantargatam Pashyannatmani Mayaya Bahirivod Bhutam Yada Nidraya Yah Sakshat Kurute Prabodha Samaye Swatmaname Vadvayam Tasmai Sri Gurumurtaye Namaidam Sri Dakshinamurtaye. It's a wonderful verse. Let me first read the English translation. To him who sees the universe like a dream existing within oneself, or like a city seen in a mirror, but appearing externally due to Maya, who upon enlightenment beholds the universe directly as his own non-dual self. Salutations are to him, Sri Dakshinamurty, in the form of my own Guru. There are 4 important points. In this verse, the teacher is giving us 2 models of understanding who we are. 2 models of understanding how to know who we really are. One model is that of a city seen through a mirror. Another is the model of anything, the whole universe experienced through a dream. First let me tell why this mirror example, mirror model. Imagine it's a huge mirror. You keep it in a slanted way outside your door or window and you look through the city. You can see whatever is going on, you can see it, right? A better example would be when you are sitting in front of a TV. In those days, TVs were not there. That's why mirror is given. Now, in front of a TV is a beautiful example. You see a cricket match or the Olympic Games opening in UK that went on a few months back. In fact, I think it was only in the month of July. 4 things happen. What is that? The first thing is the container contained idea. Without the mirror, you cannot see the city. So the city that is reflected in the mirror is the contained, and the mirror is the container. That is the first point. The second point, let me elaborate before we go further. Why is it called container and contained? If the container is removed, the contained also is removed. The container is the only reality. The container is independent, whereas the contained is dependent. Let us come back to next point. We will go. How many mirrors are there? Only one mirror. But how many objects are there? Any number. Going and coming, changing. What happens? The mirror is the only truth. Whatever is reflected in that mirror is completely untruth. Now, wise people among you, they think, Swami, when I am looking at a mirror, I know that the world outside is real. Don't give me this example. It is only reflection, but the reflected is also real. My dear friends, if from birth to death, if you are put in front of such a mirror or TV, do you think that there is an outside world other than your TV? Would you know that there is an outside world? Do you follow what I am talking about? Because we see the outside world, because we see the reflection, we know what is real and what is reflection. But if you are looking at reflection throughout your life, you will lose the distinction between the reflection and the reality. Do you see the point? Yeah. Plato gives this example. There is a cave and 4 people are sitting looking towards the back of the cave. Behind them there is a fire going on, and this fire throws shadows of them on the wall behind the cave. And imagine that each one of them is separated by a wall, and they were only not able to look at each other, but able to look only at the shadows. And if they are asked to describe about the other fellows, whom do they describe? Only shadows, is it not? Not only that. This is so interesting, Actually, each verse we can take for days together. Yeah. Kalakshepa, you also have to spend your time, we also have to spend our time, Otherwise, one day if you just say Brahma Satyam Jaganmedhi, afterwards there would be no audience at all. So what is the point we are discussing? If we are looking at masks, then all the reality that we know is only a mask. Let me give an example. Suppose there is somebody, and whenever that person meets you, he meets you only with a mask. Some kind of mask. Mask doesn't mean a total covering from head to foot. These are all masks only. Yeah. So, if you are asked to describe that person, how will you describe? Only the mask. You don't know what is contained within that mask, is it not? Our whole life with regard to ourselves. That is why we say our CV. I am male and I am so many years old and this is my qualification. Is this real CV? The scripture gives us the real CV. You are Nirguna, Nirupa, Nishkriya and all that. Nirguna we understand. We have no qualities. Okay. So, what is the second point we are discussing? The mirror alone mirror is one and all the reflections can be any number. Mirror alone is the truth. Everything that is reflected is not truth at all. Then the mirror, just imagine your TV, a huge building is burning. Or someone is eating ice cream. If someone is eating ice cream, what are you supposed to do? Ice cream. Scream. So, the TV is not affected at all. The mirror is not affected. There is a horrible accident. It's getting reflected. What happens to the mirror? Will it break? No, it is not affected at all. And the outside objects could be impure at various degrees of cleanliness or purity or impurity. Suppose a dirty fellow is going and his reflection also is there on the mirror. Could the mirror become dirty? No. These are the few points, beautiful points. What is this first? The mirror is the container. Anything that is reflected in it is contained. What is the second point? It is ekam. The mirror is one, but that which it reflects is many. What is the third point? The mirror alone is the truth, everything else is mithya or passing show, passing reality. What is the fourth point? That the mirror is pure, everything else is impure. What is the last point? The mirror is totally unaffected. Whatever happens to the objects, if they are burning, that's fine. If they are nicely dressed, that is fine. It in least there is no effect at all upon the mirror. This is the first model. What is the second model? Dream. This is even better in some ways. This complements the mirror model. Because mirror, at least you can say, I am sitting, yes, right in front of the mirror. I am there, mirror is there, and the outside world is there. How many are there? In the mirror image, how many realities are there? You are real. The mirror is real. The reflection in the mirror is real. And the object outside which it is reflecting is also real. But in dream state, it is something wonderful. Now, imagine, you go to dream. In the dream, imagine, this is the dream. Swami Dayatmananda is giving a talk on dream. That is the dream. And then Swami Dayatmananda is telling that this is a dream. How many of you would agree with that? You would all vigorously say, is Swami dreaming? Understand? Your spontaneous reaction would be, Swami must be dreaming to tell us this is a dream. You won't believe it. What is the point? Before you went to dream state, how many of you were there? One. But when you went to dream state, you like a mirror, you see, you create so many. All are your creations only. It's very most important to understand this particular verse. Every object that appears in your dream is none other than your own self. Just to make fun. In the dream, you see two people. One person comes and gives you $1 billion check. The other person comes and slaps you. Now, after waking up, who gave you the check and who slapped you? Do you see the point? It is only our own individual creation. Important point, I will come later on. Even in the dream, we create so many myriads of objects. And all those objects are only our own creation. And yet, we choose one particular body to identify with and separate all that. Say, this is me and everything else is not me, even in the dream. Do you see the point? Exactly like waking state. That is the second point. What is the third point? You will not experience any object in your dream which you have not created. Suppose you have not created a horn on a man's head. Would you experience? You can never experience because you have not created. Only what you created, that alone you can experience. Anything like waking state, anything can happen there. Some houses will get burned. So many things happen. In dream state, would you believe that it is not true? It is all just imagination? Would you believe it? Supposing someone of you is having an injury. I come and tell you, you are only imagining. This is not true. Then you know what you will do to me? You will give a slap and say, you are only imagining. It is all dream. See, we wouldn't believe it. And then a huge tiger is coming to eat you up, gobble you up. And you will be crying. If you are unfortunate enough to have a guru, you are calling, Guruji, Guruji, please come and save me. What does he do? He will come and give, first before the tiger can catch you, he will catch you and give a big slap. And then suddenly you wake up. And then you see that, oh, my Guruji saved me from the tiger. Did he save you? I should not be telling all these secrets. He could, the Guru was necessary only to save from a false tiger. To save from a false tiger, you don't need a real Guru. You need only a false Guru. Some Yatisham, this very famous story, one man always used to walk with a covered upper cloth, something bulgy. It was very unusual. So people asked, what is this you are carrying? He says, I am carrying a cage. Oh, what is there in the cage? There is a mongoose. Why are you carrying this mongoose? He said, I am terribly frightened of snakes. I see snakes everywhere. I said, where are the snakes? No, it's all my imagination only. So there is no real snake at all. But I see snakes. Then that fellow asked, if you are imagining snakes, how can a mongoose save you? He opened his chadar and showed. It was only empty cage. So my mongoose also is an imaginary mongoose only. So imaginary mongoose can save from imaginary snakes. A dream tiger can be, you can be saved from a dream tiger only with the help of blessings of a dream guru. A point, keep that point. So you wake up, and when you wake up, you will see that the whole thing was a dream, right? Now, one more important point before we come back. This is a what is called answer to people who doubt the existence of God. You have gone to dream. You are having a dream. In the dream, you meet somebody. You are having a discussion whether there is a God, there is no God, and you are a firm believer in God. And the fellow is also your creation only, but you don't know that. He says, no, there is no God. I don't believe in a God. Right? Now, if there were to be no waker, would there have been any dream? The very fact that there was a dream is a proof that there was a waker. The whole dream world is created by the waker. That is the answer given by Vedanta. And so long as you know you are the waker. But that dream every day we have is in contrast to the dream which we are having now. This waking state is also a dream-like state. And to say that there is no what is called creator, it is as foolish as in dream someone saying there is no waker. Do you catch the point? If you are having a dream, is a dream possible without a waker? There must be somebody to dream, isn't it? So there must be somebody to dream this waking state, which according to Vedanta is dream-like state only. Ultimately, what is the problem? The problem is I don't see God. Do you see yourself? You don't know who you are. So long as you don't know, you don't see. You see. Yes, what do you see? I see a mask. I see a mask. We all change. Supposing you have photographs of your child as a baby. You have a photograph. And you come and show me one day. Now, after 50, 60 years. And Swami, do you recognize this fellow? Can I recognize that it was you? Where is the resemblance between that fellow and this fellow? That fellow looks so nice. So sweet, so innocent. You see? So, what is the point we are making? It's the most wonderful thing. If there is a God is necessary, only when we think there is another God other than us. You didn't catch the point, some of you. In the dream, you are saying God exists. Who is that God? You the waker. Is it not? How do you know? Because you are furiously arguing. I have to tell you a funny story. There was a guru and he had some foolish disciples. Foolish disciples always get foolish guru only. But sometimes wise guru also. So one day this disciple householder, he came and said, Swami, I am so frightened of death. Bless me that I may become immortal. He was a rich devotee, otherwise we would bless. So he brought a lot of fruits, flowers, money and all those things. So the Guru immediately put his hands on the disciple's head and said, may you become immortal, you are immortal, don't worry. Death cannot do anything to you. And the devotee was so happy, he went away. But his disciples had terrible doubts. I mean, they didn't believe at all. The disciples would never, near disciples would never believe their Guru. Only those who come far away and stay 1 hour or 2 hours, and they only believe the real Guru. So they said, Swami, you blessed this devotee. What a foolish blessing. How can he be immortal? He said, you stupid fellow, you don't understand. So long as he is alive, he would not complain. After death, he is not going to complain. So, come back to the point. See, in the dream, who is telling God doesn't exist? Who is telling God exists? And that one who is telling is the waker, is it not? Because after some time, when the dream breaks, he will get up and he will say, what a foolish dream I had. I was arguing with myself, God exists or doesn't exist. What is the point? The point is, so far as the dream world is concerned, the waker is the God. Who created that dream world? The waker. So he is the God who destroys the dream. The waker who sustains the dream. He is the waker. But when he wakes up, the whole dream world has come to an end. When the dream world comes to an end, will there be a debate whether God exists or not? Exactly in the similar way, when we wake up from this dream, which is now presently called waking state, all doubts would go away. The proof that there is a God, there is a waker, true waker, is that we are experiencing this world. The experiencer. Is that point clear? If I am not the experiencer, there will be no experience. Right? So, when I wake up, then this world will be destroyed. This is what we call waking world. Not only every day we are doing that. When you go into dream state, you are destroying the waking world or not? When you are entering into the sleep state, are you destroying the dream world? In fact, you are destroying two worlds. Whenever you are in one state, you are destroying the other two worlds. And do you question yourself whether in your deep sleep state, whether dream world is real, whether the waking world is real? But there is one who is there. That is an important point. What is the point? When you are in the waking state, the whole waking world depends upon whom? Morning I told, I and everything else. Now, let me give you a small example. You are listening to me, you are the audience, and I am the teacher. You are the student, I am the teacher. Is it right? It's right from a conventional point of view, but not right from real point of view, because my teacher status depends upon you. If you go into dream state, what happens to my teacher status? Yeah. Suppose you are dreaming that you are the Swami giving a talk and I am the student sitting there in front of you in your dream. What happened to my status? Reverse, role reverse. That means you can do anything you like. It's not humor, this is not fun, this is the truth. Our perceptions, this is my mother, this is my wife, this is my husband, these are my children, friends, enemies, country, religion, God. Even God. Is God, when you are thinking of God, who is great? Who is great? God is great or you are great? Sri Ramakrishna tells you, no? He says, God is, this world, this universe is so vast. incomparable, unimaginable. And this whole universe is contained in the stomach of God. So who is greater? Universe or God? And that God is contained in the heart of a devotee. Who is greater? Devotee or God? Do you get the point? I chose to think about God. In fact, most of the time, God doesn't exist. Do you catch the point? When you don't think of God, does God exist or not? He doesn't exist. Poor fellow. You just magic. Gone. Pop. It's a profound point. Don't think, oh, even if I don't think God exists. No. If you don't think, the whole world vanishes. That is so hard to believe. But Swami, they are live. Well, they live or not. When I am in deep sleep, do I know that world exists? All of you are contained in my consciousness. Now, that's a point I will discuss very briefly. Now, we are talking about dream world. Dream is a wonderful example. Now, when you see all the objects, what are those objects made up of in your dream world? What are they made up of? Your mind, your thought. Is it not? Vrittis. It is your thought. There is nothing else, isn't it? An elephant comes into you. So has the elephant come into your mind, or you thought about the elephant? It is inside you as your thought. And can thought create things? No. When consciousness combines with a thought, that becomes a vritti. If there is no consciousness, it becomes deep sleep state. Whether waking or dream, a thought plus consciousness, then only the thought is recognized. It is a thought. Do you get the point? That means, even though I am seeing you, I don't know who you are. All that I know is, the eyes go and then get some information, presents it to the mirror of my mind, and my consciousness brings them to light. Are you with me on this point? That is the point of this particular verse. The mirror is the container, the reflections is the contained. It's exactly same way. That's why dream example. Have you gone anywhere? You are dreaming you went to India. But where are you now in fact? You are here. That means that is a thought. That means thought means what? Thought is lifeless. But only when thought is combined with consciousness, that becomes what we call an objective experience. That means the whole dream world is nothing but my consciousness with certain thoughts. Is that point clear? Why not we think? It is my consciousness combined with some thoughts is what I call the waking state. No difference at all. That's why I gave the example. The moment you withdraw your consciousness from the thought that I am a teacher, my teachergiri has disappeared. The moment you close your consciousness to anything, that object disappears. And there is a state called deep sleep where you are totally no object, nothing is there. What is the point of all this discussion? The whole universe is like the reflection in a mirror. Mirror alone is the truth. Everything else is untruth. Mirror alone is real, independent. Everything else is dependent. The mirror alone is the pure. Everything else is impure. In this sense, the mirror is never affected. We think we are affected, but in reality we are not affected at all. That is the truth. If you do not understand, don't think you get my company first. I join your company. I am saying that this one, but even I don't understand. If I understand, why should I be here? Yeah. So, to him who sees the universe like a dream existing within oneself, or like a city reflected in a mirror, but appearing externally due to Maya, there is a power which makes us feel the reflection is the truth. The mirror is not the truth. The reflection alone is the truth. But who, upon enlightenment, prabodha samaye. Prabodha means, just as a dream disappears after you wake up. So also the dream of this waking state also disappears at the time of enlightenment, prabodha samaye. Then we say, swa atmanam eva advayam. I am the only reality, advayam. And who is that advaya? Swa atmanam, my own self. And this knowledge will not come unless Guru's grace comes. Who is that Guru? Who is the teacher? Dakshinamurty. And who is that Dakshinamurty? Knowledge. And that knowledge flows through my own Guru. Therefore, Dakshinamurty flows through my Guru. My Guru's body is an instrument. But the real Guru is Dakshinamurti. Do you see it? Guru means not the physical body. Again we commit that mistake. Like the water coming from the sky falls on the roof, and there will be 4 pipes. One pipe looks like a lion, another pipe looks like a human mouth. Like that. But all the water from 4 sides, where from it is coming? What is the source? It is only pure rainwater. True knowledge comes only from one, who is Shiva or Dakshinamurti. And that flows through these instruments. That instrument through which a little bit of that knowledge comes to us, we call that instrument our Guru. Therefore he says, Tasmai Sri Guru Murtaye Nama Idam Sri Dakshinamurtaye. What is the essence of this verse we have discussed? That ultimately the Atman, I alone is real. Everything else is but reflections. It is one's own self, luminous self, which seems to break into myriad forms and appears. Again, let me emphasize it. When you go to dream, you see the whole, this building, these chairs, the people, the microphone, everything you see. But when you wake up, from where all those things have come? 2 things happen when you wake up. What is it? First of all, the many has become one. Secondly, all those things were dependent upon whom? Upon the waker. If you understand that, this Jagrada Avastha, waking state, is exactly like a dream, no different at all. When we wake up, then we understand. But that waking up cannot come until grace comes. And grace comes in 4 types. Morning we discussed. If you remember, God's grace, Scripture's grace, Guru's grace, and grace of one's own mind. So, now I have to be 4:16. 4:30?
No, Maharaj, 4:50.
Oh, 4:50. So we stop here and we will continue. You changed your mind or what? I thought it's 3 to 4:30.
No, it is 3 to 4:50.
Do you have?
There is question answer from 4:45.
You are right. 4:50. 3 to 4:50. So, if we understand this verse, the rest is more or less easy. So we will see the essence. We will take it. That will want to be Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We will have some refreshments now.
Yes.
And then come.
We will dream that we will be having.
In that case, I can go to my room and dream that I am giving a talk.
Before we go to have refreshments, please have your questions ready. It will be very good if you can write them down and put in a bucket that is kept there, because when you write, the questions become very precise, and it will be easier for revered Dayatmananda to give answer to all those questions. He told